Hello, my name is Patricia. Thank you for joining me for a moment in Song and Scripture. Today's song was written by Barry Dean and Tom Douglas. This song is about a little boy named Will and his single mom. When you first hear it, it doesn't appear to be a Christian song. But if you actually listen to the words, you will find that it's a perfect display of God's will in a young life. This beautiful little boy shared the love of God even though he himself was hurting. Through his pain, he lived out God's will and he touched the lives of those around him. Please listen to the words to the song, God's Will. I met God's will on Halloween night. He was dressed as a bag of leaves. It hid the braces on his legs at first. His smile was as bright as the August sun when he looked at me. As he struggled down the driveway, it almost made me hurt. Will don't walk too good. Will don't talk too good. Will won't do the things that the other kids do in the neighborhood. I've been searching, wondering, thinking, lost and looking all my life. I've been wounded, jaded, loved and hated. I've wrestled wrong and right. He was a boy without a father and his mother's miracle. I've been reading, writing, praying, fighting. I guess I would be still. Yeah, that was until I knew God's will. Will's mom had to work 2 jobs. We'd watch 'em when she had to work late. And we'd all laugh like I hadn't laughed since I don't know when. Hey Jude was his favorite song. At dinner he would ask to pray, and then he'd pray for everybody in the world but him. Before they moved to California, his mother said they didn't think he'd live. Then she said, each day that I have him, well, it's just another gift. And I never got to tell her that the boy showed me the truth. In crayon red on notebook paper, he had written, me and God love you. I've been searching, praying, wounded, jaded. I guess I would be still. Yeah, that was until I met God's will on a Halloween night. He was dressed as a bag of leaves. The name of this song has always had a double meaning for me. As a child of God, you could call him God's will. But the way he lived his life was a picture of God's will. Will knew how to laugh and sing, and he prayed for others. In a world where so many people are self-centered, he cared more for others than he cared for himself. And he displayed the fruits of the Spirit, such as love, joy, and gentleness. Will never complained. He always seemed to be content, just as Paul was. In the book of Philippians, Paul said, not that I was ever in need, for I have learned to be content with whatever I have. Will was a young boy who had learned how to be content with the braces on his legs. He had trouble walking and he had trouble talking, and you might be tempted to feel sorry for him, and you might want to give him just a little extra care, and that would be okay, because Jesus said, inasmuch as you have done it unto one of the least of these, you have done it unto me. And you might think that Will was one of the least of these, but he's not the only one. He's not the one who's been searching. He's not the one who's lost, and he's not the one who's been looking all his life. Will is actually the one showing the way to God. Jesus said, "So let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven." I believe that this is how Will lived his life. How will you let your light shine? Where will your light be? Will it be under a bushel, or will it be up high for all to see? Will didn't hide his light. He held it up high. Therefore, through his life, he was able to show others God's will for their own life. Will laughed with joy. He prayed for others, and he shared the love of Christ with those around him. Let's all of us follow Will's example. Let's hold the light of Christ high and help others find God's will. Thank you for listening. Have a blessed day, and remember, keep a song in your heart.